You don't think Republicans were prepared for unhinged liberal mobs? We've been dealing with this since Donald Trump won in
Scott, these aren't liberal mobs.
True.
Alright, in this video, we will go over the most recent CNN meltdown regarding town hall meeting protests. Basically, you have Republicans claiming that the majority of these protests are completely fake and they are mostly paid actors. So, before we start this video and look at the meltdowns, please like the video. It is the #1 way you can help this channel, and it helps others see the videos as well. So let us begin.
You don't think Republicans were prepared for unhinged liberal mobs? We've been dealing with this since Donald Trump won in
Scott, these aren't liberal mobs. These are not liberal mobs.
Yeah, but believe me,
these are veterans.
I watched a little bit. I looked at the questions. Why is he shredding the Constitution? Putin this, Putin that. One guy had to be escorted out. He was so unhinged.
That was that
These
guy.
are not. This is an unrepresentative.
That was that guy,
unhinged.
the veteran. Scott, if they,
it's a mob.
Scott,
it's a literal mob.
This is what
Alright, so stick with me because I'm going to show you guys the interaction between the veteran and the Republican congressman at the town hall meeting. And I'm really curious how you guys feel about this.
Lying. I'm a veteran. True. To be clear. Sheriff.
Okay, so I typically don't insert my opinions into the videos, I leave that up to you guys. However, I am a veteran myself of the 101st Airborne. One veteran does not represent all of us. Now, the second thing I want to say is, you'll notice these town halls are not that big, but when the protests happen, they turn into national headlines and national stories.
you're saying about veterans. If Republicans weren't so worried, then why did you have the Republican Party go out and say, stop doing town halls. Stop talking to real people.
It's a stupid idea.
Because they don't want to talk to the voters. They don't want to talk to voters.
Because
this is why you guys are polling so poorly.
We're not. Wait a minute. We're polling poorly. Can we just revisit the Democrat congressional approval rating?
Congress is polling poorly. Donald Trump is also polling poorly.
So angry He's twice as much as Democrats in Congress.
40% of the American people.
All right, so here's what's going on. It's actually true that Republican leadership did tell other Republicans maybe it's not a good idea to hold town hall meetings, and here's why.
I mean, we have Republicans who want to go out and be among their constituents and hear their concerns and dialogue with them. It's a big part of the job. But the problem is they're being ambushed right now by some, in many cases, paid protesters. You've got George Soros-funded groups. They're very well organized. That's one thing Democrats do very well is this organization, right? And they go an hour or two early before the event. They fill all the seats. And so the actual constituents of these Republican members can't actually make it into the arenas. And so it's not a productive dialogue at all. They're just walking into an ambush. So
all right, so I think you'll find this interesting. I did some fact checking and it turns out this is actually true. A lot of these protesters will just show up hours ahead of time and then fill up the seats so other people cannot ask questions. Now, the clip you're about to see is actually of the same event where you saw the veteran yelling at the Republican.
But what was a very packed town hall, a town hall that actually saw long lines hours before doors opened. I mean, just think about it. These are congressional town halls. People go home and do them. Hours-long lines to get into those. That is not usually a thing. But it is now because of what's going on in Washington. Some of those waiting were in protest. They had signs like the one there that reads, "Chuck's a puppet."
All right, so this is very important. The CNN news anchor just said the reason why these protesters showed up is because they are very upset with Donald Trump. However, Scott Jennings, who really does represent the Republican Party, he sees it a different way.
So you're telling me everybody that's showing up to these town halls to boo these Republicans on these crazy policies that they're supporting right now, these are all paid? We're going back to paid?
It's unrepresentative of that congressional district where this guy got like 56% of the vote.
So was unemployment
and of the state, which Donald Trump won. These are unrepresentative, unhinged mobs. I don't know what else to tell you. That's what they are.
All right, so now I'm going to show you the Democrat talking point for whenever Republicans say these are all staged protests, none of this is legit. Take a look at this clip.
I remind you both that it was Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. When January 6th happened this year, what happened? It wasn't Democrats storming the Capitol. Actually, guess what? No one stormed the Capitol this January 6th. And so it was.
You look at the video in New York City today, the people who took over Trump Tower, the people screaming at folks on the streets.
Protesting.
Who are those
People
folks?
were protesting. They were
In
not
Trump
storming.
Tower?
They were not storming.
They stormed Trump Tower?
They
Yes,
were not
they did.
storming.
They were inside of it.
They were not storming They were not
The lobby of
trying
Trump
to.
Tower is
They were not trying to hurt a member of Congress. There were thousands of people who were prosecuted for January 6th. Scott, you may have forgotten, but.
So again, like I always do, I will actually show you guys a clip of what it looked like for the protest inside of Trump Tower, and you can decide how you feel about it.
Nobody loves going to a Republican town hall meeting like crazed liberal Democrat activists. I have no doubt they are their constituents, but these people, they hated Donald Trump before, they hate Donald Trump today, and they're professional complainers when it comes to Republicans. Look, I guess you could take any of these conversations seriously, and the way to handle it is to stand up there and calmly and clearly explain that we've inherited a mess. The American people have entrusted the Republican Party to get us out of the mess. It's going to take a lot of work to get us out of the mess. And here's what we're doing to do that. We're going to fix immigration. It's already happening. We're going to unleash American energy. That's going to be part of the reconciliation bill. You know, we're going to have more or less chaos in the world. And that's what Donald Trump's trying to do by negotiating an end to the war in Ukraine and get the Middle East under control. I mean, the Republican priorities are not complicated and they're very clear. But let me just tell you, having been to many of these town hall meetings over a 25-year career in politics, a lot of the people that show up at these things are there because they're committed partisan activists, not because they wandered in because they had some concern. I don't doubt that they are actual constituents, but if you think somebody that showed up with a hand-painted sign at a town hall meeting came in undecided, I got news for you. It just doesn't work that way.
Now look, even at the highest level, J.D. Vance, our vice president, he has his own opinions on these potential paid or not paid actors.
We've got this great event, this great facility, great business, and of course great workers, and I'm sure all of us saw there were a few protesters outside, and I can't be the only person wondering, you know, it's a little after noon on a Friday, and don't you all have jobs? Who are the people? And I think that's one of the reasons why we've got to rebuild American manufacturing and support great companies like Vantage Plastics, because we want those people to get off the streets and back to work. It'd be good for them and it'd be good for everybody else too.
Okay, so now I want to show you guys an actual Democrat member of government who is using the talking point that Republicans don't have the guts to go face to face with Americans and actually tell them the truth. And then I'm going to show you guys an interesting clip from Donald Trump that really ties this all together.
Apparently, reports this morning indicate that in the Republican caucus meeting, a member of Republican leadership stood up in the meeting and supposedly told his caucus a simple instruction: not a single one of you should attend or participate in a town hall. Why? Because they are scared of their own constituents, Mr. Speaker. They understand that if they hold a town hall with their community, they will hear outrage from everyday American citizens who are pissed off.
Now, to further amplify this point, Democrats are actually going to start showing up into Republican areas and throw their own town hall meetings. Two notable members of government are Bernie Sanders and AOC. Apparently, they do want to team up. But again, we're going to have to wait and see how effective it really is and how many people will really show up to these town hall meetings.
And I believe that CNN and MSDNC, who literally write 97.6% bad about me, are political arms of the Democrat Party. And in my opinion, they're really corrupt and they're illegal. What they do is illegal. It makes no difference how big a victory I had. I can have the biggest victory in history. It makes no difference what kind of a failure the other side has. These people are going to go after me. And I said it during the other night, during the big speech on Tuesday night.
Now, the reason why I'm showing you that clip, two things. Number one, it seems that CNN and MSNBC, they are reporting these protests at the town hall meetings as merely just regular old protesters. Everyone protests, it's a normal thing. But then on the flip side, you have Republicans saying, hold on, these are left-leaning publications. Maybe they're trying to push a certain narrative and not actually bring up the facts. Again, that's up to you guys to decide. However, I'm going to show you guys a clip where a member of government, Republican, actually calls out CNN for not pushing the other side of narratives.
All you need to do is turn on the TV. Look at your show. It's nothing but fear-mongering. That's all the Democrats do. What's inflation doing? What's inflation? Up or down? Oh, it's down. What's the prices of eggs? Oh, they're down. What's the prices of mortgage? Oh, it's down, right? But we don't cover the positive things. We only cover the negative things to get everyone worked up. So here's two things. This could be a potential problem, but it actually could be a potential long-term solution. But when you don't want to cover the other half and all you talk about is the one half, of course that's what you're going to hear. I would prefer to give both sides of the story. That's what real news people used to do, is they would give both sides of the story. So one side of the story is, yes, potentially on the short term, listen, tariffs could cause us some discomfort, no question. But let's take a look at the long term. Do you think there's any benefits to the long term? I can share with you that there are benefits to the long term if we can get this on a level playing field. And that's what we need to do. Instead of just getting everyone all ginned up about, oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Let's talk about the vision on what we're actually trying to do, which is reverse the negative course and put America on track to be respected again.
Chairwoman, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you would watch our show more often, because you would see that we do have both sides on. Specifically, that's why you're on the air today, to present that side. That's what we do here at CNN. Chairwoman Linda McClain, thank you so much for the time.
Lisa, thank you.
Lisa, my apologies. Have a good weekend.
All right, I apologize for how long that clip was, but I had to show you guys that interaction because, one, it's funny, but two, for educational purposes, again, Republicans are starting to get way more unified and actually show up on national television, and this is the strategy for Republicans. Go on national television, go to CNN. MSNBC really doesn't host Republicans too much. I wish they did, otherwise I'd show you guys. But CNN, actually, to be fair, they do host a lot of Republicans, and it always ends up being a meltdown, which is why I actually started this channel. Now, that is the strategy for the Republicans. There's almost no reason to go to these town hall meetings because only, like 300 people are showing up, 200 people, and you can get a lot more accomplished when you get on screen and you broadcast it to the TV or to the internet. Again, you can leave your comments down below how you feel about the Republican strategy, not showing up face-to-face to either protesters or other Republicans in their local area.
Aaron, I'm doing my best golf whisper right now because a congressman is taking questions from reporters right now, right behind me. But people are angry. I mean, let's walk right here. Sorry to interrupt you, but do you see that? Do your job. That's what they're chanting. Hundreds of people who were not able to get into this auditorium of 300 max capacity, they've essentially made a protest out here. I mean, they were out there for hours in lines hoping to come in here and ask the congressman some questions. And now this is essentially a protest. They've been pounding on the windows here as a congressman is taking questions. Resist fascism. You see all these sorts of signs.
So look, if you are still watching this video, I really do appreciate it. Please leave your comments and opinions down below if you think these are paid protesters, paid actors. Obviously, Republicans are pretty strict on this point that no one believes that these are legit protesters. Maybe not all the protesters are fake, but it is rather interesting how common this is becoming in staunchly Republican areas. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something. And again, a quick disclaimer, disclaimer, not all Democrats are like this. It just so happens right now, this is what the media is reporting, these town hall meetings, and this is a very strong Democrat point to go after Republicans and say, look, you see, they're not even going face to face with the American public. What else are they hiding? Again, the opinion is up to you. Leave it down in the comments. God bless. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you later.